This is Fabulously Normal. Real people, real stories. The flip side to 40 with Tara.
Okay, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers, everybody. Welcome to Fabulously Normal. I'm here with my friend Ryan, who is an incredible artist and the creator behind the bin chicken movement here in Brisbane. How are you going?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Yeah, I didn't create the bin chickens themselves, but yeah, the trail and the sculptures that you might see around the city. Yeah, that's me. So,
Yeah, fantastic. So tell us a little bit, like I like to sort of start from the first sort of formative years of life. So primary school, high school.
Yeah.
You didn't grow up in Brisbane, did you?
No. I'm a southerner, south of the border. I grew up in Victoria, and then made the move over to England, and back to Victoria, and then finally settled here in Brisbane, which I think we'll call home.
Yeah, I've just heard. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You've bought yourself a little plot of land.
Yes, we have. Yeah, we're homeowners and dealing with asbestos and all those sort of things already.
Oh, joy.
Yeah, fun.
Yeah. So we actually met because, and which is really convenient that you're staying in the area because our children are in love with each other. So, potentially we could be in-laws, there could be a lot of barbecues, one of us really needs to get a pool for that real Australian kind of family vibe.
I think so.
I'm banking on you guys.
Yeah, we can get a pool.
Yeah, awesome. That's
We've got
great.
to have the pool parties for those little lovebirds.
Yeah.
They're very cute, aren't they?
It's super cute. So, all right, so high school, and then after high school, what was your pathway after that? Did you go a bit of a traditional route, or were you already an artist? Yeah.
Yeah, I've always been a bit lost. Through high school I had high aspirations and I loved art. After high school I went to uni in Melbourne and studied photography, and I chased that for a long time.
You had a photography business, didn't you?
Yeah. I was over in the UK. I was a really successful wedding photographer, and then I brought that back to Wodonga in Victoria, and I set up shop with my sister there, and we had a really good little studio. But I completely fell out of love with photography, and
that's hard, isn't it? When your art is where you're getting your income.
Well, that's right. Yeah, that was my income and it was my creative outlet. Yeah. Which I now know how important it is to have one of those, and if you ignore it, then bad things happen. Essentially, I fell out of love with photography, and I worked other jobs. So I went into factory work. I've been worked in office jobs and things like that.
So, because that's really interesting, right? So you really had you had it all going. You had a career out of your creative industry, but the passion and the love had died. And so that's a pretty big thing to then, that's very brave to go, I can't keep doing this because it's, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it's like going to destroy me kind of thing if I keep going on and on. Yeah. So working in a factory is like a better alternative.
Well, yeah. I mean, factory work wasn't, my preferred line of work, but at that point I needed a job. Yeah. I couldn't stand the thought of picking up a camera, and I needed money, so it just ended up that's what I had to do. It was just this horrible situation where I couldn't stand the thought of taking photographs, and I still wanted to be creative, so I was working a job that I hated at the factory, and then later on office jobs, and I found out that I needed some sort of creative outlet, and it just wasn't photography. I felt too restricted in that. I think it was too black and white, and
I can imagine too, you said wedding photography. So that's a very structured space for photography, and that's your bread and butter. And then you to be creative on the side. That's and right, then you had your eldest child as well. And children, that's a big factor into the story. And there's just not enough to go around, like, energy wise.
No, there's not.
Passion, creativity,
So, I'm sorry, I'm getting very depressive here, but...
No. I think it's important to share that there is a struggle there, but you recognise, like, okay, well, I'm a parent and I'm in a marriage and I've got responsibility, so I have to keep earning money. I can't keep doing this creative outlet. It's just destroying me. So I need to stop everything, just go and work, earn some money, have a break, you know, freeze. And how did it all come back?
Yeah, so I would work, look after our kids when I could, and in my spare time I would work on Castle. So this is the original drawing. That's all fine liner pen. It's
amazing.
2 years. It was. I had sunk into a depression at the time, and this literally drew me out of it. Excuse the pun, but it was what I would focus on for hours at a time after work or just in the evenings when I had time, and I could just sink into that and just draw and just enjoy that. And over the course of that,
sounds meditative.
It was very, very
gorgeous. Yeah.
Partly because of the nature of it being fine liner pen was that you can't make a mistake. So you have to be very focused on the piece and the artwork, and that took my attention off anything else that might be happening in my life at the time. I mean, at this point in my life, I can't remember the exact age, but it was maybe 35 or so. So I was at the point where I was like feeling like I'd ruined everything. I'm almost middle-aged and I haven't done this and that and that and that. So when I was drawing that, I didn't have to think about those sort of things. And over the next couple of years that it took me to draw Castle, I realised that this is what I need to follow, was art. Go back into the arts, not as photography necessarily, but as the arts in general, so become an artist.
Yeah. So you actually didn't study fine art?
No.
Wow. So you're completely self-taught?
Yeah. So don't look too closely.
No, it's impressive. I mean, I'll put a shot up in the middle as well, somewhere in there when, you know, my technical abilities, you know, what it is. But I'll pop it up because the detail is amazing. So what was the inspiration behind it? Obviously, castles. I'm going to just state the obvious there.
Yeah, so part of the inspiration behind Castle is my experience in living over in the UK. We were in York, which is an amazing Roman walled city, just incredible. The York Minster that's there, and some of just the old castles that are around it are just beautiful. So that was my main idea, was just a whole world full of just everything that I wanted to see. So it was just start with one and then do another and another and another and just build it up. I made a decision to just create the world that I wanted to create. There wasn't really any message behind it at the time. I just wanted to see that as a massive artwork full of castles, and that's what I made.
I know it sounds bizarre, but it was like you were rebuilding yourself, like brick by brick.
Yeah, that's
you
a good
know?
one.
Yeah, it's great. It's beautiful. And I remember when I first saw it, I thought it's a really sort of Escher style inspired. And he's an artist that I absolutely love. So I was like, oh, where's your hidden staircases going up and down the wrong way? But yours is, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah,
so from there, then where did your journey of art go? Because then you moved to Brisbane.
Yes, I moved to Brisbane, and we've set up here. And I'm lucky enough to have a wife who works full time and supports me in my creative endeavours, which it's huge for me. I'm able to do this. I can draw, I can paint, I can make sculptures. I can do whatever I feel like I need to do. And I moved from drawing to drawing this into I moved from doing this into doing some stippling artworks. So spending hours dot by dot by dot by dot, just building up layer after layer of.
It's kind of your style now, maybe, is it? This really sort of fine, repetitive.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think one of my main styles when it comes to my drawings is artwork that takes a very long time to do and just is it takes a lot of patience, and I think it just
a lot of work.
A lot of work,
goes into it. And I think when you're looking at it, you get that sense. There's hours and hours that go into it, and the stippling pictures are just amazing as well. And I'll pop up Ryan's Instagram and everything on there, so you can go and have a look at the artwork that he's done. It's incredible. And you do sell them as prints and things as well, don't
you?
Yeah.
Yes, they are for sale. So
buy one.
That's right.
And the other point that I think is really interesting that you touched on is that ability to be, in that partnership with your wife, and she is not a creative artist as well. But she has she has the ability to be able to support that space. And I might also add that they have now 3 children. Yeah. So you are the stay-at-home dad,
yes,
and you are the homemaker, I guess, in that traditional space. I don't want to go too much into that because that's, it's more about your art. But as somebody who also had a husband that was the stay-at-home dad, we did the unconventional. How do you find that role out in sort of Brisbane?
I've
stay-at-home dad.
I've loved it. I think it's amazing when you can spend so much time with your kids, and that you don't have to feel guilty about it, because that is your job, is to be there for them and stay home and do the cooking and the cleaning as much as you can. So I love it. There is a bit of stigma attached to it, obviously, with a man that would do that, but you know what?
Who cares?
Who cares?
I know.
So,
it's their problem.
It's their problem, exactly.
Yeah.
I get to be there for a lot of moments that other parents may miss, and that's worth more than the opinion of someone else.
Absolutely. And they're great kids, and I spend a lot of time with them, and you do an excellent job.
Thank you.
So well done you. All right, so back into the artwork now. So the bin chicken, this is sort of taken off, even to our wonderful Lord Mayor has jumped on board. Where did this come from?
So
first of all, the bin chicken is an ibis.
Yes.
Like, it's a bird, and it's everywhere. And unfortunately, got the name of the bin chicken because environmentally, it's now in the urban environment. So now it has to find and forage food in the bins.
That's right. Yeah. They do love a good bin and love to slurp on the bin juice.
Ew.
So, I had been looking into a bit of sculpture work. I started off by making some spiders, which I've put up around where I live in trees, just to give people a bit of a double take. So, they're driving along and, a giant spider.
It's massive.
Yeah, so
it was around Halloween or something, wasn't it? The first one you put up, was it?
I had done a couple before then. There's one that is just opposite my house that I put it there so that I could get people's reactions. I could see, and it was a little bit of I just did it for myself, just for a little bit of get a
buzz,
a laugh out of it. Yeah, so
there's
that, and then there's a couple of other ones and some butterflies. And I was talking to my barber one day, and we were just spitballing ideas, and he said, "How about a bin chicken, and put it on a bin?" And that's actually a really good idea. So, all honesty, I kind of stole it from my barber, the idea, which I've given him a bin chicken on his store as well. There's one up on Black Book Barbers, so he got that.
He got the first one.
He got the first one. Yeah. So I did a couple just in the early days holding a beer, and I just would install them just in the dead of night, or when no one was around. I put one in Queen Street, which disappeared
very quickly.
Yes, yeah. So that's, who knows, that's somewhere. It's probably in the cleaners, pool room
cupboard
or something. Yeah, exactly. And it just kind of spiraled from there. Really, I just made more and more, and people on social media would just see them and love them, and everyone just got really into it. So I just kept doing it.
So iconic for Brisbane now.
It is, it is, yeah.
Yeah. So there's also now you've started without, maybe that was that first intention, but I do love that about art and the movement and how things can organically grow. the Bin Chicken Trail, is it called? Yeah.
Yeah.
So take it up, people. Take it up. There's bin chickens, and so whereabouts? Like, let's talk geographical area-wise. Where can they find bin chickens without giving it all away?
All over Brisbane. Yeah. I mean, the furthest one away is in Queensland. Is up in Bundaberg, I think, would be the highest one. But most of them are here around Brisbane. There are 50 of them now, which...
Wow!
Not all of them are visible from the street. Some of them you might have to go into some stores. But yeah, there are 50 of them all spread around Brisbane. And all you have to do is drive around and you just may see a bin chicken holding something unexpected. We need to start the challenge, though. We need to get... I mean, imagine if someone could actually get all 50 and find them. I think there needs to be a prize for that. Yeah. There does. Let's talk to the Lord Mayor. Do you know you've got his number? Oh, yeah. He's dropping around on Friday. Is he? He's going to pop in. Let's float that idea. His binny that he's ordered for Town Hall is over there getting ready, so... So exciting. He's going to pop in for a chat, which will be interesting. Yeah. Get a few photos. Yeah. Get him to commit to a prize. Yeah. If somebody finds all 50. Yeah, the key to the city. Yeah. Just a small prize. Just the key to the city. Yeah, that's it. Get out there and find the bin chickens, people. Do it. Yeah. All right. That's amazing. I love it. And, I often think about, being a creative person myself, that if you hadn't have sort of taken that handbrake turn and left photography and gone, I just need to stop, because if I don't stop this, it doesn't even allow an openness to something new to come in, Yeah. So I find that's the bravery around it as well. And now it's led you on this completely new path that you couldn't even imagine for yourself. That's right. I'm in the bin chicken business now. What do you want to be when you grow up? I want to go into the bin chicken business. I want to make some bin chickens and stick them on buildings. That's right, yeah. So now, I mean, it's kind of weird to say where to next for you as an artist, but you got any ideas? Go on. Well, no, I'm excited to say that I don't know. And I think that's part of the good thing, is that I have the freedom to just follow whatever my creative desires need, and this is part of what I found out about myself, is that I need that outlet. Yeah, totally. I have actually started work on a mural, which there's this wall that I would drive past often, and I just saw it and thought it needs color, it needs some paint on it. So I just had to stop and ask the homeowner there if I could paint their wall for free. Luckily they were all for it. Yeah, great. Who doesn't want to add a bit of colour to their, external wall that's boring and people drive past? We need more colour here in Brisbane. Yeah. So who knows? Yeah, it could be exciting. Could be murals. It could be some other type of sculpture. Do you get the feeling like you need to stipple and dot and pin? Your other one's the pin boards. Do you get that? At the moment I'm not into drawing at all. But that will come back. Yeah. And it does come in ebbs and flows like that, where I'll be really into something and then I'll never want to touch it again. But then it might be a few years that go by and I'll pick it up again. At the moment, I've actually got a stippling drawing that's about a third of the way through, which it has been for about a year now. So I'll finish that one day. Yeah, and it's amazing. Like, you're in the thick of it too. Your kids are really young. They're not all at school. Like, you're doing the hard yards at the moment. And so the fact that you managed to even have a career outside that, I think is incredible. And then to make it successful as an artist, well done you. Again, I think I already said that, but let's cheers you again. Thank you. Well, I'm now going to ask you to, I'll put my beer down. Finish it. Love a good beer after work. Okay, so just to round it off, let's ask a few little random questions. So it's like, pick a card, any card. Yes, all right. Okay, what have you said yes to recently? That's a bit of a stretch. What have I said yes to? Well, I mean, other than
the big house,
other than buying a house and paying someone an extortionate amount for asbestos removal. But,
yeah. Maybe more personally for yourself.
Yeah, I've said yes to. I mean, the broader yes in my life has been just following what I need to do, which is art, and not shutting it out. So that's been the thing that I've learned about myself over the last 5 years or so. It's just how important that is. More recently, I think, I don't know, really. I want to be a nice, happy, colourful person in general. I think it's one thing to sometimes say that you're that person, but then to actually do it is harder.
Yes,
and
it is.
I'm probably as guilty as a lot of people in that someone will cut you off on the road and I'll honk the horn, and you get that aggro, and you just get annoyed about silly little things in life. I think it's only been in the last couple of years really that I've sort of started to realize that you have to be the person that doesn't take that to heart, and you can be a better person.
Yeah.
So I think just
like be the best version of yourself. And what does that look like? What does that feel like?
I mean, it sounds overused, but be the change you want to see.
It's my favorite expression in the world.
Well, there you go.
Be the change you want to see in the world. I used to write that on my whiteboard in school, every school I've ever worked at, with every class. I was like, just be the change you want to see in the world. If you start, it has a flow on it, has a knock-on effect. You attract like for like, you know, and then, you feel so much better about yourself.
Yeah.
So everybody, be the change you want to see in the world. It's a good one. All right. Next. All right. How do you keep the work-life balance in check? It's hard. 3 kids.
The work-life balance, it's pretty impossible with 3 kids, and my workshop is my garage. But as I touched on earlier, my wife is the reason that I can do what I do. I couldn't do any of this without her having a job that actually puts a roof over my head, so that I can be one week I'm making bin chickens, and the next week I say I'm going to paint a mural for free. Yeah. And she says, okay.
Yeah. Well, look, I can relate to that. I think one person needs to be consistent and stable, and that's what you enjoy about each other, and that's the ebb and flow, and that's the support space of love and relationship, really.
That's right.
I mean, if you were both artists, how do you guys do it out there if you're both artists? Yeah, amazing. All right. Should we do 3 questions, 4 questions? All right. What is love over 40?
Love over 40. I think you just get to a point where, I mean, just full disclaimer, I'm not actually 40 and neither's my wife, so we're close enough.
Soon.
It's just accepting that. I think you get to a certain point in your life where you're done with any sort of drama, and you're done with any mind games and things like that. You know who you, in my case, are married to. You know their strengths, you know their weaknesses, and you just love them for all of that.
Yeah.
And if you don't, then if you don't have that understanding of who they are at this point in your life, it's it's not great. But I think love over 40 is just acceptance of that not everyone, well, no one is perfect, and it's still just undivided love.
Yeah, beautiful.
For who they are.
Yay. And hopefully a few date nights in between.
That's right, yes. All right, which one?
Don't know.
This one here.
What has made you laugh recently?
Oh, my little angel, horrible, terrible daughter.
Yes.
Heidi.
She's funny.
She's always making me laugh. She's a hurricane, that's for sure. She's going to be a force.
3rd child.
Yeah, and she's going to be a force to be reckoned with. I laugh at her and with her every day. So it's my kids, which, and myself, I guess. I laugh at myself.
Yeah, it's so good, isn't it? I've got to laugh every day at something. All right, one more, hey? One more. How do you show your mates that you love and care about them?
Oh, geez. I'm probably letting my mates down because they're all in Victoria. They're all in Melbourne, and I have not gone down anytime
Send them a
recently.
chicken.
Yeah. No, we talk here and there, and to be honest, they do a much better job of reaching out than I do. Part of that is probably my spaghetti brain, where I've got part of my brain that's devoted to bin chickens, murals, drawings, and other things
Kids,
that's going on.
home,
Something
life,
else.
bill, house.
Yeah, so they are really good. They're actually, I've known my friends since primary school, and even one since kindergarten.
Wow.
And they are the same set of friends.
That's amazing.
The exact same set of friends.
So solid
for all
crew.
those years. So very solid crew. So I think now that we're all almost 40, they know and understand that I don't necessarily reach out. But every time that we meet up, even though it's a couple of years that go by, it's just nothing's different. It's just like yesterday.
Yeah, that's a good friendship. That's what all the memes tell me anyway. Like you pick up where you left off, and that's a solid friendship.
Yeah,
nice.
We're solid. Yep.
Yay!
Yeah.
Well, on that note, we should collect our children and go home because I've got to work tomorrow.
Yeah,
Thanks for chatting, Ryan.
No worries at all.
I'm excited about the bin chicken trail.
Yeah.
I want to hear what the prize is that you're going to negotiate with the Lord Mayor.
That's right.
And I'll see you soon because our kids are in love.
They are. Yeah.
Anyway, thank you.
No worries. Cheers for that.